Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga, our last Zoom yoga class of 2023. My name is Michelle Chua, and for this practice of half Vinyasa Flow and half Restorative Yin, you want to have quite a few props, such as 2 blocks, a strap, a pillow or bolster, and a blanket. You might even want to sit on any one of those props as you find your version of a comfortable seat, or in Sanskrit, sukhasana. Take a moment to adjust your body so that you can arrive in stillness, in a sense of comfort and alertness. I'd like to open with this quote by American writer Larry Niven. Half of wisdom is learning what to unlearn. This brings us to the practice in yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, one of the practices in the second limb called aparigraha, often translated as non-possessiveness, non-accumulation, non-grasping, non-attachment. I love the way it's summed up by Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Non-accumulating simply means confidence in one's existence and in one's abilities. It is knowledge of oneself. When we can trust who we really are at the core of our being, we don't need to hold on to things unnecessarily. We can remember that the things and stuff around us are impermanent. But not only thinking about stuff, going back to that first quote, learning what to unlearn is half of wisdom. Here are a few ways that you might incorporate aparigraha, the practice of that in your daily life. Number 1, consider downsizing or decluttering your space, your home, your office, your car, wherever you frequent, your closet, and minimalizing consumption and waste. Remembering that when we're getting rid of stuff, throwing it away, it doesn't just disappear. It's still part of our planet. How are we compounding upon the waste that accumulates in our planet? How are we taking care of Mother Earth by really asking ourselves when we buy something, do I really need this? How long is this going to last? And how much is this going to enrich life? Number 2 is let gratitude, what it is that you are grateful for in all aspects of your life, inspire your generosity. As we practice both gratitude, which in turn can influence our ability to be generous, we are strengthening our self-confidence and self-trust and believe that we don't have to grasp for things. We don't have to cling onto things. All is flowing naturally in the state of abundance. Number 3 is to regularly practice forgiving and letting go of resentment. You might remember something that the late mindfulness teacher Thich Nhat Hanh said, anger, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and thinking that the other person that you're angry at is going to get hurt. It's us that in turn gets hurt when we cling onto not forgiving or to holding grudges, holding anger, holding resentment. In what ways can you free yourself of that heaviness? By learning to forgive. We practice a lot of compassion in our different meditations. How do we practice compassion for those around us to fuel our ability to let go of resentment, to forgive? And number 4 is studying ourselves. That's also one of the practices of the second limb of yoga called svadhyaya, self-study, really observing our tendencies and what we are attached to. What are you attached to, and what is the effect of your attachment to those things on your quality of life, on your relationships, the earth, collective well-being? remembering that we are all affecting each other, and remembering that really important first virtue, first limb of yoga, which is ahimsa, which means non-harm. Are any of our attachments causing harm? How can we let go of such things? And these attachments can be material things, objects, but they can also be beliefs that we hold on to. Remembering that a belief is simply a thought that you practiced so many times that you think it's true. Opinions, judgments, prejudices, titles or identities, habits. So, what things are we holding on to that may actually be holding us down? It's interesting because we can look at it from another angle, that such attachments and clinging and grasping and possessiveness actually are chaining us down from our own evolution and openness and freedom. So in that sense, how can you bring more freedom into your life? By practicing aparigraha. Let's look into the body, starting our asana practice, the physical yoga. And as you might come across two areas that you're holding on to things physically or emotionally or energetically or mentally in your body, how can you be kind to yourself in seeing them, compassionate in starting to let go of what may need to let go? So let's start by checking in. Notice what you're feeling in your physical body. Becoming more aware without having to judge what you are aware of as good or bad. Notice the quality of the breath without controlling the breath, so that you're more attuned to your energy. Observe your state of mind and heart, what's present mentally and emotionally. And on this last practice of 2023 together, what are you grateful for? What do you appreciate in any area of your life right now? What are you calling in? What are you creating space for to experience in your life? Set your intention. And as we look at how we are all connected to each other in this place of interbeing, to whom or what might you dedicate today's practice? A way of extending loving kindness to someone else. And together, let's set our intentions and dedications and create a resonant space to practice together in by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little fuller. With slow, steady breaths, let's start to practice regulating focus, calm, and balanced energy within us through Ujjayi pranayama. Victorious breathing. Closing the lips, gently narrow the back of your throat, creating a soft and smooth whispering sound that you can listen to as you hear the breath lengthen in and out evenly. See if we can keep that sound going as something to focus on, to steady your mind with. And let's begin some movement. Come on down to hands and knees, all fours. And if you want to give your inner wrists a stretch as we start cat-cow, turn out your hands, spinning at the wrist to whatever degree you can feel a good enough stretch. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrists, step your knees a couple inches behind your hips. As slow as the breath, inhale, glide your chest forward, roll the shoulders back and down, look up, cow pose. Exhale, contract your abdomen, dropping your head round your back, cat pose. Again, inhale, chest forward, shoulders back and down, tilting the tailbone up. Exhale, lift the belly in, dropping the tailbone, softly dropping the head. Try a couple more cycles of Virabhadrasana, cat-cow pose. So physically, we're going to move all throughout the body. Today is going to be just an all around opening the body and looking for areas where we can practice a parigraha in. If we might be holding any accumulated tension that's not needed. As you relax to a neutral spine, turn your index fingers to face forward so they're either parallel to each other or slightly turned out. And then lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Allow a few first breaths to just move your body any way it may need to loosen up. If you need to stretch into the backs of your legs and warm them up, you can pedal your feet, pressing one heel into the earth as you bend the opposite knee a few times. If you also need to stretch your outer hips and sides of the torso while you're pedaling your feet, you can swivel your hips to the left and right like you're dancing the twist. Let your head fall loosely. You might help to relax your neck by shaking and nodding your head a few times. Tune into your breath. Start to walk to the front of your mat, entering a standing forward fold with your feet apart, hips distance, parallel. Bend the knees here. Press your fingertips either on your shins, blocks, or the floor. And inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana, half fold. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Sweep the arms forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, gently coiling your chest up as you gaze up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale as you join your palms together from your crown to your heart center in mountain pose. Let's move into sun salutation. See, offering gratitude to this powerful, abundant source of energy, the sun. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow towards the earth, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step your left knee behind you into a kneeling lunge and gaze up, Anjaneyasana. While holding your breath, step into the top of a push-up, plank pose. As you exhale, first lower your knees, then your chest, firming the belly as you hug the elbows to the ribs, then lower your chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide onto your belly, drawing your shoulders back in cobra, root down to the tops of your feet. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press into the earth. Inhale, rise, lifting your heart towards the open sky above, open possibilities. Exhale, gather your palms in prayer at your heart center. One more, second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward folds. Plant your fingertips down. Inhale, step the right knee back. Anjaneyasana, look up. Holding your breath, step into plank. Ashtangasana, exhale, lower knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Rooting down, inhale, rise all the way to the top. Open heart space. Exhale, join your palms to meet there. Sun salutation A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press down with your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Step into plank with legs straight or knees on the ground. And this time, firm in the belly and exhale, glide forward, lower to Chaturanga Dandasana, hugging the elbows to your ribs. Inhale either into Cobra or upward facing dog. As you draw the shoulders back, firm down through the tops of your feet. Then exhale, lift your hips high, press your thighs back, downward facing dog. Let the body be still for 3 deep breaths as you steady your gaze, your drishti. Rolling your triceps toward the earth, broaden across your shoulder blades. Soften your neck and lift the shoulders back. When you've emptied the 3rd breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart, Padasana. Let's move into Sun Salutation B. Bring the inner edges of your feet together to touch. As you inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Lean back towards your heels in chair pose, Utkatasana. As you exhale, shift forward and hinge from your hips, Uttanasana. Press with your hands, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, step to plank, or lightly jump to Chaturanga if that's part of your practice. Lower into your vinyasa, following your pace of breath. When you arrive at downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and softly land the foot beside your right thumb, spinning your left heel down. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. Exhale, down to plank. Continue to lower into your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. Step the foot beside left thumb. Lower the right heel. Inhale, rise up to Warrior One. Exhale all the way down, Vinyasa. Downward dog, pause for 3 breaths, slowing down your breathing. As you listen to it, rebalancing in breath with out breath in length. When you've emptied the 3rd, walk or float to the front of your mat. With feet together, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose. Exhale to rise. Let's set 2 blocks in front of your feet on their tallest height, about a foot in front of your feet. And with your feet together, join your hands together at your heart. So bend your knees, come back to chair pose, but not as deep. Steady your gaze on one spot ahead of you and steady your breath. Rotate your right thigh to turn out at the hip, then flex your right foot by curling the toes towards your right shin as you stack your right ankle on top of your left thigh like a figure 4 shape. Splaying your right thigh open, try to evenly draw your sitting bones back and down to your degree, firming in the belly. A few deep breaths here. Now you could raise the arms overhead, or if your hips are willing to go as far as being able to place your hands on blocks or the floor, you could do that. Keep flexing your right foot as that helps to stabilize the alignment of your right knee. So you're not twisting the knee laterally, but you're really originating the turnout from the hip socket. So draw your hips back. Try to keep them lower than the heart here in this pose. Last 3 breaths. Rising up to stand. Turn out your right thigh for tree. Hug the sole of your right foot against your inner left ankle, keeping the toes on the ground, or inner left calf, or above the knee, inner left thigh. Now direct your right sitting bone downward towards your inner left heel. Feel the 4 corners of your left foot pressing into the earth. As you rise a little taller, you might bring the arms overhead if your balance feels pretty steady. You might look up. You might challenge your balance by closing your eyes. Let's tune into 3 more breaths in Vrikshasana. And then as you come back through center with your palms, step your right foot down to meet the left and pause. Tune into the breath again. What are you sensing internally at this moment? Now bend your knees again. Turn out your left thigh at the hip. Flex your left foot and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Evenly draw your sitting bones back and down as you firmen the belly. How's your breathing? You might raise your arms overhead. You might place your hands on the blocks or the floor. Keep flexing your left foot. Let's listen to another 3 full breaths. Rising up to stand, turn out your left thigh and hug the sole of your left foot against your inner right ankle, toes on the floor, inner right calf, or above your knee, inner right thigh, rolling the left sitting bone downward towards your inner right heel. As you press into the floor with your right foot, stand a little taller. Maybe you raise your arms, maybe you raise your gaze, maybe you close your eyes. Vrikshasana, tree pose. And once again, bring your hands down your center line and step your left foot to meet the right and pause, tune inward. What's present right now? Let's come on down to sit and we'll move into the yin portion of our practice, beginning with a seated spinal twist, helping to wring things out a bit. All right, let's straighten the left leg forward, cross step the right foot in front of the right hip, and just plug your 2 sitting bones down as evenly as you can, sitting tall. Now you can stay here or cross the right foot outside your left thigh as long as your 2 sitting bones are evenly grounded. You can also bend the left knee. Place the right hand behind your pelvis, raise your left arm, and then step your right foot flat into the floor, press your pelvis down, and lift up from the bottom of your spine to your crown. As you breathe in, draw the shoulders down, open your chest, and at your waistline, begin to twist to the right as you breathe out. Now lower your left arm, hold your right leg or hook the left elbow outside of it. With each inhalation, press down with your body to lift up through the back of your skull. Keep the chest open. And with each exhalation, keep the pelvis still and continue to rotate your rib cage. We've got about 8 more breaths in this twist. Now there's also an option to bind here. If that's available, with the left elbow hooked outside of your right thigh, you would hold your left knee with your left hand and then wrap your right arm behind your back, using the right fingers to slip into your inner left thigh, holding on to it. With each in breath, continue to lengthen your spine. And exhale, continue to twist. Whatever version of this pose, notice how you are integrating the practice of non-grasping, non-possessiveness, aparigraha. Now on your next exhale, unwind your spine. Now keep the cross of your legs. We're going to actually come into Gomukhasana, which is cow face pose, going a little further down the IT band into the outer hip and glute. So crossing your right leg over the left with the knees bent. See if you can get your knees to stack down your midline as close as possible. You could elevate your pelvis on a folded blanket if that helps, so that you can sit tall as you do this. Evenly ground your sitting bones. And if that's not possible to evenly ground them, if you're tilting off to one side, then you might find it more helpful to take the variation in which you straighten your left leg and flex the left foot like this. Now, whatever variation in the legs, make sure you feel evenly grounded, spine is tall. Now raise your left arm, and here's where you might dangle a strap from that left hand down behind you. Use your right hand to help rotate your left outer upper arm forward and bring the elbow behind your head, pressing your shoulders down. Lift your chin slightly away from your chest. Reach the right hand behind you underneath to either hold the bottom end of the strap, then walk the hands as close together as you can, or to clasp your fingers if they meet. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs and press down your pelvis to lift up your spine as you inhale. Now, keeping the shoulders relaxed, your throat open. If it's available, begin to hinge forward from your hips with each exhalation. Going for about a total of 10 deep breaths here in cow face pose. As you breathe in, slowly rise up. Release your arms, uncross your legs, and either give your legs a shake, roll out your feet at the ankles, maybe roll out the shoulders, or be still. Just allow a few breaths here to unwind from those two postures and observe how energy is moving through you. Continuing that ocean sound in your breathing called Ujjayi breath. Let's step the left foot on the floor, either in front of your left hip, grounding the two sitting bones here, crossing the foot outside the right knee, maybe bending the right knee too. If you can, try to do the same setup as you did on the first side. Place the left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm up, press into the ground, even with the sole of your left foot, and rise a little taller as you breathe in. Relax your shoulders, still your pelvis, and twist to the left as you breathe out. Lower your right arm to hold your left leg, or hook the right elbow outside of that thigh, continuing to lengthen and twist. Now, if a bind is available, if you want to try it out, if your right elbow is hooked outside of your left knee, reach for your right knee with your right hand, and then wrap the left arm behind you, slipping the fingers to hold your inner right thigh. Then as you breathe in, sit a little taller. As you breathe out, continue to twist. We've got about 7 more deep breaths in this posture. On your exhalation, unwind your spine and cross your left thigh over your right thigh as close together as you can, maybe stacking your knees down your midline. Remember, you can opt to straighten the bottom leg like this and flex that foot. That allows your pelvis to be more evenly grounded. Raise your right arm this time, optional to hold the strap from the right hand and dangle it behind you. With the left hand, spin your right outer upper arm forward and bring the elbow behind your head, then press your shoulders down. Reach your left hand behind you underneath, catching the bottom end of the strap and walking your hands as close together as you can, or clasping your hands. Pressing your hips down, breathe in and lift through each vertebra. Relax the shoulders, open the throat, and only if it's available, hinge forward from the hips. If it's available while keeping the space throughout your spine, especially throughout your neck. And with your next in breath, slowly rise up. Release the arms, extend the legs, shake it out or roll it out or be still for a few breaths. Just observe. And grab a strap, place a block off to the side of the rear region of your mat, and let's lower onto our backs. Bend your right knee into your chest as you lie down, and step the ball of your right foot into the loop or center of the strap. Extend your right leg just vertically towards the sky, and if the hamstring is feeling really resistant, you could bend your left knee and step the left foot on the ground like this. Hold the strap with two hands, kick into the strap with your right foot flexed, and draw, you can use your right thumb here and find that right outer hip crease and just press it forward as you're starting to pull the strap towards you. So your right leg comes closer and closer to your chest while the head and shoulders stay down. Breath by breath. Keep tacking this right outer hip forward. So what you're doing is keeping the hips squared or leveled. You're not hiking up the right hip towards the armpit. And then if you can continue to do that without using the thumb, you can hold the strap with both hands. So as we're opening up into the back of the leg, especially the hamstring and the glute, you might find it helpful to flex the front muscle of your right thigh, your quadricep, but be careful not to lock the knee. You can catch hold of the back of your right ankle or the foot with your hands. You can let go of the strap. Keep relaxing the shoulders here. We've got about 5 more deep breaths in this supine version of hand to big toe pose. Supta Utthita Hasta Parangushtasana. And then step the right foot onto the ground. Bend your left knee into your chest. Step the ball of your left foot into the strap and straighten your left leg upright. As you hold the strap in your right hand, use your left thumb to hook the outer crease of your left hip and press it away from you towards the front of your mat. Flexing your left foot while kicking it into the strap. Begin to pull the strap closer to you so your left leg comes closer while you draw that left outer hip forward. Now, if it's available, if your hamstring feels okay with it, you can straighten the right leg and flex the right foot too. And then if you can use both hands and just keep tacking the left hip forward on its own, you can do that. Remember to flex your left quadricep here. It's the front muscle of your left thigh. Being mindful not to lock the knee. And then from here, let's bend the knees apart into happy baby pose. Ground your tailbone, head, and shoulders, and splay your feet as wide apart as you comfortably can, while keeping your feet parallel to each other, both soles facing the sky. Breath by breath, draw your bent knees down towards the earth outside of your shoulders, broadening across your lower back. You might add rocking side to side if you choose. Just tune into a few last breaths here. Then step your 2 feet on the ground, parallel to each other, hips width apart. Bring your arms down by your sides, close to your ribs, and slide your heels back until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Take your block, lift your hips, and slide your block wide across your sacrum, which is the flat part of your lower back, either on the lowest height, the middle height, or the tallest height for supported bridge pose. Keeping your feet on the ground, still parallel to each other and hips width apart, tilt your chin back away from your chest to open your throat. Let your arms rest down by your sides with the palms face up, rotating the shoulders back to open the collarbones apart. While you keep your feet grounded and still, bring the intention of energetically lengthening your tailbone forward towards the space between your knees. Keep your thighs parallel and slightly spin your inner thighs downward towards the floor. With your next in-breath, invite the expansion of your chest and side ribs and back ribs. As you exhale, let your belly soften and sink towards your spine. Inhale, fully expanding the rib cage gently. Feel the muscles between your ribs stretch. Exhale, completely relax your belly. Let's continue with resonant breathing, a mindful breathing technique to relax the nervous system. As you continue expanding the rib cage on the in-breath and softening the belly on the out-breath, I'll count to 6 as we breathe in and 6 as we breathe out. Prepare to begin by emptying this breath. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 6. Exhale for 6. Continue counting a few more cycles of breath. And letting go of counting, but continuing to breathe in and out slowly and evenly. You may opt to place the block on a lower height as we move into legs up or supported shoulder stands. So you have a stable support to be able to lift both legs relatively straight, just comfortably straight up, relaxing your feet, just inviting a boost of circulation to the heart. This posture also helps to relieve tired legs, relieve headaches. So continue with regulating deep, balanced breaths. Maybe closing the eyes and resting your palms face down on your belly, which can feel grounding and soothing. This posture also helps to stimulate digestion and relaxation. And begin to gently lower your feet onto the earth, sliding the block from underneath your body, lower your pelvis, and draw your bent knees together into your chest, maybe rocking in either direction or circling the legs. As you wrap your arms tightly around your whole body, giving yourself a hug, maybe lift the head and shoulders and close the eyes. Imagine breathing into your whole body as you inhale slowly. Hold the breath in, squeeze a little tighter with love, maybe sip in a little more air. And then through the mouth, exhale everything out, releasing your arms and legs to splay openly on the ground. Giving yourself rest, stillness, and presence. Let's spend a few minutes here resting in Shavasana, corpse pose. Resting where you are with your eyes still closed. Become aware of how your physical body feels now. Taking your time, slowly and gently begin to move your body little by little. You might start by moving the head softly or wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Ease into a simple stretch. And eventually turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Pause there briefly to notice how you feel energetically by observing your natural breath. As you're ready, begin to lift your body slowly into a comfortable seat again. Sitting for 10 minutes in a guided meditation of self-inquiry on this last practice together of 2023. We continue our focus on practicing a parigraha, non-possessiveness, creating space for inner freedom, and to really be who you are without the confines of attachments. So as you find a comfortable seat, maybe resting the palms to stack on the center of your lap face up, thumb tips touching, and maybe closing the eyes. Find a stance and gesture that allows you to concentrate in a relaxed way. Remember that the attitude about aparigraha is not forcefulness. It's letting go gently. It's relaxing into being. Can you bring that attitude into how you're approaching your meditation right now? Letting the breath flow in a relaxed, natural way. Allowing your body to soften in areas that you might tend to feel tension or holding or clinging. Relax the eyes, relax the tongue and jaw, relax the shoulders and neck, relax the belly, relax the bottom of your pelvis, relax your hands, relax your feet. Allow your whole being to relax. Even your focus. As you focus on the feeling of the breath coming and going, let your focus be gentle, easeful, so that if your attention goes astray, you're not hard on yourself. You simply bring the attention back in the most relaxed way to the breath again. Let's spend a full minute practicing relaxing focus on the breath. When we practice self-inquiry and meditation, we're asking a question inward to our own inner wisdom, our own inner guidance. But we're not trying to answer the question and think more thoughts. After you ask the question, you practice relaxing into the breath again and just allow open space. The answer can arise in so many forms in many different times, sometimes not even while you're meditating. Sometimes the answer comes as a nudge after meditation or as you move throughout your days. The important part is to be open and to keep paying attention with a relaxed awareness. So let's begin with the first question. What is the most important thing to you in the bigger picture of your life? Asking your inner wisdom, what is the most important thing to me in the bigger picture of my life? Let's allow a minute to just practice relaxing, resting the awareness on the breath, and just observing what might come up. The next question, to align with what's most important to you in the bigger picture of your life, what might you need to let go of to align with what's most important to me in the bigger picture of my life? What do I need to let go of? And the last question, by letting go of that attachment, how will you feel? By letting go of that attachment, how will I feel? Coming back to Lara Niven's words, half of wisdom is learning what to unlearn so that we can become more of who we truly are. And sense the way you're feeling now mentally and emotionally. Nearing the end of our practice, notice if there's anything you would like to offer gratitude for right now, including yourself for showing up and being consistent with your conscious self-care. And then imagine to whom you dedicated today's practice, in some way receiving benefits. Recall your intention for this practice as you prepare to enter a new year. And let's join our voices to close, chanting Om again 3 times. You feel the resonance that you're resounding through your voice, both giving and receiving. Inhale. Bowing in, recognize the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.